Santa Barbara Teen Sports listeners, I'm your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday
at 9 a.m. Welcome to Teen Sports Radio, the show where sports meets real life. I'm your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. In the house today, we've got Dominique. How you doing, Dominique?
Good morning. Good morning.
Woo! Got a great show today. Let's see. Ryan is going to be here with us shortly. We've got Emily. You're just saying our little Muse sound bird. I'm really excited about that. Dominique, you said, because we were going to have our Mike Mata show up today, but Mike just texted me and he's not feeling well. So what do you want to do with that?
I'm going to interview you.
Uh-oh.
And Coach Erica.
I'm getting interviewed on my own show. I love it. You know, first time it's not the first time. I've been interviewed a few times, but you know who interviewed me once? Probably about 10 years ago. Dr. D, do you remember when the Baron interviewed me?
I do indeed.
Have you ever been interviewed on his show?
I have not.
Ah!
I don't believe so, no.
Really? Yeah, he was wild. I was so nervous. I mean, it's the Baron. Come on. Now,
Well, yeah.
When the Baron wants to interview you, it turned out pretty good, though. I was excited. That was really kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But so let's do a little. We got a minute left. You want to give a shout to somebody?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, this is a place that I've gone to for a really, really long time. I really appreciate them. Tri-County Produce.
Nice.
They're down lower Milpas Street, 235 South Milpas Street. And if you've never walked in there, they host lots of our local farmers. And yeah, Tri-County Produce is a really wonderful, wonderful place to do your food shopping.
Great. And then, you know, I do the lunches, I do probably 5 years. And I just want to, Showers of Blessing is really getting close. I'm really.
When you say showers of blessing, you mean showers.
Yeah, like real showers. Okay. So yeah, it's a nonprofit, and the guy down there that runs the thing is Dave, and it's down at the Lady of Guadalupe, and I really love it. I go down there every Friday with my ex-mother-in-law. We do all the
feed
lunches,
the homeless,
the home unhoused, Dominique. But you know, the one thing is when you take a nice hot shower, because that's where I do all my downloading and I get all of my inspiration. Showers to me is super, super important. I love my showers. I take showers daily. And for me to offer that to the community gives them the dignity and the peace that they need.
Yes.
And you don't have much.
Yes.
The showers are so, so important. So I just want to give another plug. I've plugged them before, but this is a great...
He does it based on donation.
Yeah, he does. He does it based on donations. So if anybody out there needs a couple of shekels this month to pass around, showersofblessing.org, you can go check them out. So anyway, Dr. D, are we ready? We got it. You're giving me the cutoff sign. Mm-hmm. Dominique, are you ready to interview me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We will be back with Erica, the host of Teen Sports Radio, right after these messages. We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single
Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Hello, Teen Sports Radio family. Guess what I'm going to do today? I'm Dominique from Santa Barbara Wellness Center. I'm going to interview my good friend, Erica Salda, who's a coach.
So bizarre. that means like we were screaming for content. Thoughts and prayers go out to Mike Mata. He's just having a little hiccup today. And yeah, so he was in the room and ready to go. And then he texted me as something came up. I think he's in the restroom right now, unfortunately. So yeah, somebody goes, I'll just interview you. And I'm great. I actually have been interviewed before a few times, and most fun time was actually with the Baron.
Nice.
On his show.
In Santa Barbara. We all know who the Baron was.
The Baron von Herren. Was like, read the paper to me every morning. I go way back knowing him since my Westmont days, okay? So, yeah. So where do you want to go? What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about coachability.
Okay.
This is a teen or even a young kid superpower that nobody sees yet.
Yeah.
All right, Coach Erica.
Okay.
So it's kind of like coachability doesn't actually show up on a stat sheet, and it may not have a highlight reel yet, right? But it can make and break a team. So at about age 10, is talent temporary? Can you talk about coachability?
Sure. Well, one, I'm a mother of 2 boys, and my whole life, I think I've been a coach. I think it's been a calling. I started coaching in high school, actually. I coached a little elementary school softball team where the coach just walked off and the team never won a game. And then we ended up winning the championship. I did that with a friend of mine who was the pitcher. Yeah. So they just knocked on our door. We were like seniors in high school and like, hey, we need coaches. And I volunteered.
Wow.
So that's how we started. And it was fantastic. And I had a lot of fun and kind of carried over. And when I graduated from Westmont, it was the kind of thing that was my homage for the future. It felt actually that it wasn't enough to say I wanted to be a coach. People wanted to inoculate AIDS babies in Africa and all these things. And I couldn't do that. Yeah, I just didn't have that. But I just said I just wanted to coach. So so I kept my commitment. I coached for 28 years. But when I see kids, you have to see that, understand that I've had a lot of great parents around me.
Yeah.
So I've been very, very fortunate.
Here's to the parents.
And the volunteers.
Yes.
Around me. But I came up in the 80s and there really were no girl coaches out there. They're all men. And, I picked up basketball because I love basketball. It's always been my favorite sport. So I started coaching basketball at the boys club.
So how do you see, or do you judge children on their coachability?
I look at them and I just show up off times, especially if it was a situation where I needed to pick up kids. And I like to look at their patterns of behavior and mannerisms and how they respond to certain situations. So I just kind of sit in the benches and I just watch.
You observe.
I just watch and I just observe.
And so
I like to see how they when they fail. I really like watching them fail because I want to see how they react.
Yeah.
After failure. I mean, are they sulkers? Do they shut down? So I like to see how they respond to their peers.
Yeah.
And act around their friends. I do that. So
when you recognize
every kid at the end of the day, every kid messes up, right?
Right.
But I mean, is the kid coachable?
Yeah.
Because I want the coachable ones. I don't really care at their talent at all. I really don't, because I've always been blessed. Usually when you're coaching, you're given an A player. So that I build the whole team around an A player that's coachable, that likes to also be a coach. Because when I bring up kids that have never had an opportunity to play, and that's why I've always liked the boys club, is because every kid has to play half a game.
Right.
So it's not never like pay to play kind of thing. And most of the kids I actually ended up scholarshiping myself personally through my business. So it was never a situation where, a kid, I'm paying, so, my kid plays whatever. So that whole element was ripped out of it. But as far as personally, a coachable kid learns really fast and lifts everybody else around them. They just lift up everybody.
That is awesome.
So that's just the kind of effort that I try to make. Like I look at, are they hustling? So and I'm a talker. Go ahead.
I'm not a coach, and I did do sports minimally, but explain for parents who may be new to sports and they really should get their kids into sports. What do you mean by hustle? Because usually I associate that with speed, but maybe there's something more to it.
Well, speed isn't great. Size and speed, those are the two things. Try to fit in one of those categories and you got a shot playing in high school and further. Those are the two things. But, what's really nice is who backs up plays without being told. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Who's there behind? And I don't, because
So that hustle has intelligence to it.
Exactly. Okay. I've coached so many kids. I've always looked at the sixth man on a basketball team is one of the most important players on the team, because I always infuse the sixth person when there's a rut. So I need a spark plug. So my spark plug is always the sixth. I've coached many boys and girls where I swear to God, as soon as there's a timeout, or I do position change, as soon as that kid walked on the floor, the energy just immediately shifted.
Wow.
It's just crazy.
That's magic.
Just crazy. Within the first 10 seconds, something happened. A turnover, they made a basket, something. So my little spark plug, my flair is always, and that sixth man I often could start.
Yes.
But I just had them know they're always going to get in. and then usually they stay.
Yes.
But it's kind of like a strategy, that I used.
I like it.
Yeah, that's just kind of I'm telling you all my little tricks.
So the hustle is contagious.
Yes.
And you inject it a particular time.
Yes,
during
exactly.
the game.
That's what I tried to do. That just was my thing.
I like that.
So
how about emotional regulation? I mean, with kids these days getting less social context, that's part of why Teen Sports Radio really encourages parents to put their kids into sports.
Right.
Talk to me about how you see kids doing emotional regulation on your teams.
Well, I look at it, who's got the bounce back muscle? Okay, so when you talk in emotion, again, it's just that person that's just going to be sustainable. It's like I told my kids, I mean, they were both catchers, and I coached them both in basketball from kinder class to 8th grade, but I had better not look at you where I could tell the score.
Oh, that's good.
Because you're just carrying the rest of the players down with you, especially both of my boys were catchers. So that means they were on stage. That means everybody's looking at them. And I'm not kidding you. I had one game. It's the only time I tore my son's head off, really. My youngest, John's, because, he's dropping his head. I mean, they got crushed and he's dropping his head. And I just ripped him from the moment I picked him up to like the driveway. And then I said, okay, now we're going to forget about it. And I said, you sit in the car and you just think about what I said. And it never happened again. Ever.
Wow.
And he ended up playing in college and he had a great
great
experience. Graduated #1 in his class.
Yes.
So it was really good. And I think those team skills and those builders, he's very successful in his job right now. And I think all that played into it. So,
well, I know we got to go soon. Just real fast.
Yeah.
When you are looking at kids, are you able to recognize what I think you call the wee kid?
The wee kids. Wow, that's a good question. I don't know. I thought, did you AI these questions? Or, what the heck? Okay, so, those are my favorite players, to be honest with you. Those are the high fivers, after the plays, encouraging teammates, not that are struggling. They know in advance and always picking up other people. They have this instinct, a compass, in them. And I just know they're born leaders. What can I say? It's a magic. People have it. That adults have it, but there's certain kids out there that are special. And if you can read kids, and I think I'm a really good reader of talent, and then you have these kids that are cocooned, but the talent is there, but you just have to wait because they're wonky. They're super big and they have zero talent.
Because they're not comfortable in their body yet.
Exactly. But they're 6'1" and they're in 7th grade.
Right.
So you just have to give them time.
Yeah.
And I tell you one thing, when they walk out and when they're in 8th grade, they'll get picked before that 5'6" that's got amazing ball handling skills.
Uh-huh.
That coach because they use the yardstick.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's how they pick their team because they have to go by projection.
Ah.
Okay. So that's unfortunate because that, if you look at the parents and the dad's 5'7" and the mom's 5'5", and even though the kid is great, I'm not saying that if he doesn't keep pursuing it, that he's not going to end up making the team. But unfortunately, you got 60 kids trying out in high school. So I would recommend to the parent that you may go find a smaller school if you want your kid to have an opportunity to continue playing, because it's just not going to happen.
Gotcha.
Or try to find a club or something like that, or play, pick up an adult league kind of thing, situations, which is, all over the place. But yeah.
But, have the frank conversations with coaches. Like if your child really loves the sport, but they are short,
right?
Have those conversations.
Well, I'm going to be straight with you. It's a joke, but Joe and John, both of my kids started getting that fuzz hair and armpit hair and everything in 8th grade. I'm like, geez, wrong sport. And they did not break 6 foot. I think they were both 5'10". And I'm like, we have to switch sports. So I just said, okay, good. Basketball was great. It was fun. We're going to go to baseball now. And I just scurried around trying to find, and they always played baseball, but they were not on any club team. So they were behind. So I was that crazy helicopter mom. I put a batting cage
in the back of your
car.
car.
I'm nuts. Okay?
Yep.
But I'm a cougar bird mom. I got a Lincoln Navigator. I threw all the kids in the car. I'm driving down to Somas every Thursday for batting practice, just getting home to 1 o'clock in the morning. But we had to do double time.
That was fun.
So, but that was me though. And could they have had a growth spurt? But nah, didn't think so. I married the midget in the bunch. So no, I was going to do, even though there were a couple of really tall uncles. Yeah. So, but no, thank you for that, Dominique. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
So we got a big show today. You up next, or you want to wait till you go at the end?
Sounds good.
So next we're going to have Ryan Quirk right after these messages. Thank you, Dominique. We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in every single Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Hello and welcome back, Teen Sports Radio listeners. This is Ryan Quirk with another self-mastery segment. I apologize for my voice if you can notice it coming off a little bit of a cold. I don't think it's too bad, but if you hear it on your end, that is the reason. But I'm feeling good and ready to share another self-mastery story with you all today. And today I want to talk about the power of conscious relaxation. Conscious relaxation. When we deal with challenges in life, whether that's on the court or on the ice rink or in sports or just in life, many times we overthink about it first. And I think that's such a funny approach because overthinking has never solved any problem, I don't think, in human history. Consciously thinking about something, properly thinking about something can solve it, and overthinking can put band-aids on a problem, but it can't really solve it at the core. So today I want to talk about the power of conscious relaxation and how most of your problems can dissolve instead of actually be solved, which is a much more powerful strategy. So I want to talk about some anxieties that I struggled with playing hockey in high school. And for me, I was very, very detail-oriented in my preparation. When it came to my gear, when it came to how early I got to the rink, I wanted to make sure that everything was perfect. My stick was perfect, the tape on it was perfect, my skates were tied just the right amount of tightness and everything like that. And it is healthy to properly prepare. However, there is a such thing as over-preparation. That's when being detail-oriented in a healthy way turns into anxiety and overthinking in a negative way. And so I would really psych myself out. I would get on the ice and think to myself, is my stick too long, too short, or my skates too loose? And I would just be so in my head, I couldn't even play the sport that I enjoyed. And so, I think it's important to prepare and have some general sense of, one of my favorite quotes is from Wayne Gretzky. He says, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And I think that's really powerful. We do need to prepare for our sport, for our job, for our life, whatever it is that we're doing. We do need to prepare, but we prepare much better and much more fluidly from a state of conscious relaxation. And I think this is the only tool that I've learned as an athlete that might even be more powerful than the practice of meditation and visualization, which is literally learning how to train your nervous system to relax. And what I mean by that is this. I'll give you an example. So let's say getting ready for a game and I start having intrusive thoughts. Oh, what if I mistied my skates? What if some of my equipment is not ready? What if I'm missing something that I need? And these intrusive thoughts start bubbling up in my head. One of the most powerful tools that you can utilize is actually physiologically relaxing your body. If you've ever lifted up a weight, you know that when you drop the weight, there's not a force that you have to enact on your muscle to drop the weight. It's actually a letting go of a force and your muscles go slack and then the weight drops. And the same thing happens when we learn how to consciously relax. What you'll notice when you're overthinking and you're processing a lot of thoughts and a lot of information and it's overwhelming you is that a lot of times your body actually becomes tight. You'll notice that you might be clenching your fist, clenching your jaw, you're concerned, your focus kind of narrows. Whereas when you relax and you release your fists, you consciously relax the muscles in your legs, in your back, in your neck, in your jaw, and you just let everything go slack for a minute. No one else around you might even know what you're doing. They might have no sense that you're actually doing this practice of conscious relaxation because it's really more of an inner practice. But when you relax your body, you also relax your mind. This brings me back to one of my other favorite quotes, which is the best way to take care of your mind is to take care of your body, and the best way to take care of your body is to take care of your mind. Because in truth, your body and mind are one and the same. Your brain runs throughout your whole body via the pathways of your nervous system and connects with every muscle fiber, every tissue, every bone, every tendon. And so your body and mind are one cohesive package. You can't have one be in an unhealthy state and the other one be extremely healthy as well. And so when you learn to relax and you learn to drop this tension in your body, you might be wondering, well, what is that going to do to my thoughts? What you'll actually notice is the thoughts start to dissipate. That when you relax and you open, you relax and you open, you breathe, that the thoughts actually start to go away. Now, the thoughts are not anything physical. You can't point to an ache in your leg and say, oh, the negative thoughts are there, the negative thoughts are in my shoulder. You can't physically point them out on your body. And yet the funny thing is, when you relax your body, the thoughts go away as well. The thoughts are like these little bits of energy that are kind of sparking and moving about in the mind. But when you relax the body and you relax the nervous system, the mind relaxes as well. And I think that this practice is so powerful, and I wish I had it when I was younger, because it can be used anywhere. If you're stuck in traffic and you're feeling stressed, if you're at work and you're feeling stressed, if you're, preparing for a game, if you're in the middle of a game, or in even more challenging situation. Let's say you were playing a game and you just got injured. The most powerful thing you can do is relax. Relaxation does not mean passivity. It doesn't mean you don't do anything about the situation. Relaxation doesn't mean you stop preparing for your games or preparing for life. What it does mean, though, is that when you do prepare, you're preparing from the basis of a calm and relaxed consciousness. You're preparing from a basis of no tension, which is always a far better preparation. A quote that I heard the other day, which is one of my favorite quotes, is that, I forget exactly who it was by, but he said, I've thought my way out of happiness 1,000,000 times, but I don't think I've ever thought my way into happiness even once. And what that's really pointing to is that overthinking does not go away with more overthinking about how to stop your overthinking. Overthinking goes away when you relax. And how do you relax? You relax your body. You open your chest, you slow down your breathing, you relax all the muscles, the tendons, everything, and you'll find that the mind begins to calm down. Whatever storm clouds are there, whatever negative thoughts, whatever tensions start to die down. And then, again, it's not that you cease interacting with the challenge at hand. It doesn't mean that you don't think, but when you do start to think again, you are thinking from the basis of a clear, calm mind. Think about like a very, very still pond. When there's a very still pond, there's no ripples in the water. You could say that the water is not agitated whatsoever. It's completely relaxed. And when that's the case, if you were to look down into that pond, you can see yourself clearly. The same thing happens when our minds and our bodies are relaxed. We can look at the challenges of life, or we can look within ourselves and we can see things very clearly. But if there's ripples and waves and things like that, you can't really see your reflection clearly. But what's so funny is that when we're in an agitated state, we often, metaphorically speaking, take more rocks and more stones and chuck them in the water to try to get the ripples to stop. But that only creates more ripples. One of my favorite quotes is from Alan Watts. He says, "Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone." And something that I was reflecting on this morning before making this segment is that we do not solve issues of our past, whether that's you've struggled with intrusive thinking or sports performance issues or other issues in your life. We don't solve them by just constantly dwelling on the past, but by creating and healing the future. That when you can relax and you can get a new image, a new idea of what you would like to happen, you can start to think positive thoughts and you can get a new sense of who you'd like to be and where you'd like to go, then the past heals on its own. Because the nervous system now thinks there are good things coming into my life, and that starts to show up all around you. But that can only happen until you have mastered the art of relaxing, which is so funny because when we're angry or when we're stressed or when we're in an argument, a lot of times people will be like, hey, just relax. And that makes us so angry to hear. That makes us more angry. If I'm in a fight with my mom, let's say, and she says, oh, you just got to relax. You're so tense right now. The last thing you want to do is relax. But at the same time, she's right. And that's really the truth of it, that when you're overthinking, when you're angry, when you're stressed, when you're confused, when you're paranoid, when you're jealous, whatever it is, on or off the ice, on or off the court, whether this relates to a sport or to life, the best thing you can do is relax. So today, I invite you to relax and learn the art of conscious and attentive relaxation, not as a way to avoid life's problems, but as a way to dissolve them and answer everything in your life from that place of peace and that place of presence. Thank you for another wonderful self-mastery segment. You can find my work at rqselfmastery.com. That is rqselfmastery.com. I have my book there, some other work there. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and relax. Relax.
We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in every single Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Happy New Year, teens and families around the world. This is Emily the Songbird with an episode of Teen Tones. Today, we are going to explore the pool of the perfectionist. And I have a quote to start out with. The perfectionist writes, paints, creates with one eye on the audience. Instead of enjoying the process, the perfectionist is constantly grading the results. And that's a quote by Julia Cameron. I wonder if there is something this year that you have been longing to try to create. Now, when I say that, I mean something that is healthy for you. That's something that is inspiring. You know, it might be trying to play an instrument or try out for a sports team or, you know, join a club or try something new, but you've been held back because you don't think you're going to do it perfectly. So the perfectionist kills budding dreams. And I remember that when I first started with the guitar, I received this beautiful guitar for my 21st birthday, and I thought that I was going to be able to really express my deepest emotions in powerful ways, like I heard on the radio. But as I picked up the guitar, I found myself more blocked and frustrated because I kept making these ugly sounds, and the guitar strings buzzed terribly, and I hated myself and my beginning sound. So I shoved my guitar away in the closet for nearly 7 years before I realized it was a dream I had. And so I wonder what that is for you. I wonder that if you have, I mean, it could be even the simplest things. I know that, you know, fitting in is so important to, you know, we want to wear the clothes that help us fit in or, you know, say the things that help us fit in. But really what we need to do is listen to that still small voice inside of us that says, hey, you are perfect just the way you are. And that doesn't mean that we don't work on our craft. You know, in order to learn the guitar, I had to start practicing at it, and I needed to get a teacher, and I needed to, you know, start recognizing that I'm starting at the beginner. There's, the beginning phase. There's a concept called the beginner's mind in Zen Buddhism. And it's, you know, letting go of all these notions of who you think you are or what you know about a topic and open to being a beginner, right? And so all the things that we're here to learn and become, we have to start with kind of an empty cup. And so I'm just curious, like if you think about this day ahead of you, like what is something even today that you would like to do? Maybe it's, you know, dressing in a creative way that you haven't tried before, but you're, you know, afraid of standing out, or, you know, maybe it's, you know, doing your hair in a new way, but you're afraid that you're going to be made fun of, or, you know, anything that you're that you want to try, or you are wanting to speak your truth about something. You want to stand up for something you believe in. And so I think the trick to it really is that you just start, right? And what I discovered, like yesterday, I always have a challenge. Some days my hair looks really good and I can wake up and I don't know what it is, but it works and I'm feeling confident about myself. And other days it just doesn't do what I want it to do. And so, but yesterday I woke up and I thought, instead of, the perfectionist, one thing that happens is we judge ourselves, right? When we don't match up to the ideal, whatever that is, ideal of beauty, ideal of success, I listen to somebody playing the guitar or singing, and oh gosh, I want to reach that ideal. But it's really about accepting where you are right now. And it's about actually getting in touch with that creativity in the moment. So when I woke up yesterday and I was having what I would consider a bad hair day, I decided to play with my hair. I decided to just start braiding it and putting ponytails in my hair. And I thought, I can wear a hat and I can, have fun with who I am rather than judging it. I think that, we hold ourselves up to these really high standards of what we think we should look like, what we think we should sound like. And really what it is it's about being true to yourself. It's about, giving yourself permission to be yourself and to find that unique expression that I call your song, that you find really what lights you up and what excites you and what brings you joy. And it might be something so unique to you. It might be, your handwriting, or the way you the way you dress, there's always something unique about who you are. It's the way you listen. It's the way you give compassion. And I'm telling you that when you really start to love and believe in yourself just the way you are, and you find something that you're passionate about and you are willing to go for it, you can start to get in touch with more confidence, more hope, and the universe will conspire to support you. You will find fellow travelers around you that see your uniqueness, the beauty of who you are, and they will support and love you as you walk that path. So again, what is that thing today that you are going to begin, that you have been sitting on the shelf, that you've been sitting in the bleachers watching everybody go out there and play? And what is it that you can do today to begin something new? So if you're interested in learning more about my offerings, I have a YouTube channel, Emily the Songbird 2306, and I have videos on there about learning the piano and the guitar and the ukulele and finding your voice and singing and, really trusting who you are. And my website, emilythesongbird.com. I have ongoing guitar classes on Wednesday nights from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Isla Vista Community Room. And reach out to me, connect with me, but you're never alone on this creative path, and you are so very loved and so very protected. Many blessings. This is Emily the Songbird, sending lots of love for 2026. Thank you, Teen Sports Radio.
We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in every single Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Hello, Teen Sports Radio. It's Dominique Hackett here from Santa Barbara Wellness Center, and I got the Hygge Talk for today. We're going to touch into slang words as signals and helping us stay grounded in 2026.
Watch the slang words. So this is a G-rated show.
Yes. So slang is not just words, it's signals. Because the way you talk is the way you test the world. And January 2026, the vibe from teens seems to be quieter, sharper, and more observant. We're finding teens to be not quite so loud and for a reason. It's kind of like teens are watching, clocking it, reading the room. And when someone says, "That's valid," they're actually saying, "I see you." When someone else says, "Say less," they're really telling you, "I trust you." How about that's giving red flags? That's telling you intuition, right? Intuition with subtitles.
I concur with that. I don't know if that was like the one benefit that we got out of COVID, because honest to God, they can call BS more than any other generation that I have ever met in my life.
Teens see it.
Yep, they see it.
So here's the important part we want teens to hear. Your slang isn't random. It's your nervous system learning language. And you're learning how to set boundaries without starting a fight. Express humor without cruelty. Notice vibes without explaining everything. And that's growth, even if adults don't always get it. And speaking of adults, here's to parents, coaches, and teachers. This is your slang decoder, okay, for January 2026. Let's look at a few phrases so you don't panic when you hear them in the car or the locker room. Valid. Translation, I feel respected. Please don't argue right now. How about unbothered? Translation, I'm regulating myself instead of reacting. So unbothered doesn't mean that someone has checked out. It just means that they're self-regulating. Hey, if teens say, "It's giving," that translates to, I'm trying to describe a feeling without being harsh. How about NPC energy? That translates to someone isn't being present or aware. It's not an insult. It's just a signal. Doing too much. Translation, this feels overwhelming or unsafe emotionally. And how about the famous "say less"? Translation, you've already earned my trust, so it's okay for you just chill out, say less.
That's like, shut the back door.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So here's a coaching tip. Don't repeat slang just to sound cool. Ask teens what it means to them and connect, because connection beats cool every time. So, if you're an athlete, a musician, a gamer, a quiet kid, a loud kid, a still figuring it out kid, your language shows something powerful. You are learning how to stay centered in a very loud world. Your world is louder and noisier than your parents and your teachers ever had to deal with. So, being Sigma doesn't mean being alone. It means self-directed. And if you're side questing a little this month, that's okay too. Life isn't only about the main storyline. Sometimes the side quest teaches you who you are. So here's my wellness reminder for January. Pay attention to what feels valid in your body. Notice red flags without ignoring the green ones. Stay curious, not cynical, and don't rush yourself to become someone else. You're not behind, you are becoming. You got this. This is Santa Barbara, Dominique Hackett with Santa Barbara Wellness Center. Thank you, listeners.
I like that. I mean, at the end of the day, Dominique, it's like keep you, don't put your foot on the brakes, but just tap the brakes in 2026. Because honestly, as we march into this year, 2026, today's truth is this: perfection is not the goal, presence is, right? So we're heading into a year that will move so fast.
Fire horse.
It's astrologically, it's gonna just explode. So expect a lot and reward comparison. okay, as far as being an athlete or a student or leaders or people who thrive, this is a year for you, okay? But don't chase to be flawless, all right? Don't do that. Try to just stay grounded. That's the
Authentic
important thing.
and
okay?
connected.
Grounded in your bodies, grounded in the values that you have, grounded in the work that you show up for every single day. And regardless if anybody's watching you or clapping for you, it doesn't matter. Okay. Just hold to your truth and you'll get through this year. You don't need to have everything figured out. Don't even think that's expected of you. You don't need to be perfect. All right. Don't just put that aside. That's not even something that you consider. You should need to stay connected to who you are and keep talking and just talking to yourself and just moving ahead, taking the steps forward. I think that's the whole train of intention is to compete with integrity. Okay. Rest when your body asks for it. Like a lot of people just don't do that. I see it's always go, go, go.
Especially in January.
And I call out the parents. Let the kids sleep in.
Yes.
And I reflect back on it. No, I didn't do that as a parent, but I'm telling you, do it. Let your kids sleep in if they're tired. That's important because their body is healing and they are growing. Okay, they're growing every single day. So that's today's truth. Thank you, KZSB AM 1290. And if you're listening on FM 96.9, thank you. This is the station that talks about Santa Barbara. So God bless you and see you next week.